Hey Siri, what's the square root of 219? 14.7986. So I don't know what that means. Was that, it's not a square number? Is that what it means?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yes. That would I would buy into that. That works.
That sounds like a question that someone would ask, like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? They would know that term, I would think, at that point.
Yeah. So those for joining in just a couple seconds late, or maybe we started the broadcast before we started this. This is episode 219. So
I was hoping that would be the start. I'm not sure that it actually went live when it did. We'll find out later. There's always a clunkiness of like when I think it actually starts, and then when I watch the rebroadcast later in the day, I'm like, oh, that started a lot later than I was anticipating.
Yeah. When you started entrepreneurship, your journey, Zach, you were young, like how old were you when you started?
I Zach stat and say I was 10 years old. I haven't actually fact checked that to find out if that's actually accurate, but at some point in my early youth, got $100 from grandma, bought the lawnmower, did my own lawn. Guy next door, I'm making up a little bit of the story. Guy next door was like, mow my lawn. I was like, okay. He gave me 10 more bucks. And then I went up and down the streets and did that. I feel like I made a decent amount of money during all of that, for a 10 or 12-year-old.
Yeah. Even the smallest amount of money is a lot of money when you're 10.
What are people mowing lawns for these days? Because it can't be cheap.
I don't know.
Do you get your lawn mowed, or do your kids do it?
No, my son does it, and I think I get him. I think I get a deal. I don't remember, because it's just auto set, and he's getting ready to go to school, so I don't remember what, like $100 a month. I don't know.
$100 a month. That seems like a deal.
But I think that was a deal. I think that if you get it professionally done, I don't think that you can. I think you're talking $50 minimum would be my guess.
And I don't know if you know this, but they've gotten really smart about this. A lot of them are like 12-month access. You have to pay them 12 months. So even when they're off.
Yeah, like right now, when your lawn is burn out and it's not growing, it's.
I have been testing a method that I'm calling the Zach being lazy method, where I'm just not mowing my lawn until I absolutely feel like I have to. And I don't have an HOA, so I don't really care.
Yeah. Go out and get a couple goats. You'll be good.
Exactly. Alasha, how is it going? How did I do on that? Did I do great? Did I pronounce that correctly? Have I already felt? I'm done. Y'all have a great rest of your show. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
You did pronounce that properly. It is Alasha. Yes.
Alasha Bennett. I didn't ask the last name because I figured, somewhat common last name. I don't know if that's actually true, but I'm going to say it is. It's one of the top 1,000 used last names in the world. So,
yeah,
could have been Bennett.
You went to the best. What was it? Public school or private school?
I don't really remember school.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever school it was the best because because you got phonics. Right on.
We are products of the public school system.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun story. Tim's wife introduced me to this application on the cellular device called Elevate.
Oh yeah.
And I am really good at the math stuff, and I am horrendous at English, which is funny because I've written 2 books allegedly, and I went to journalism school, but like the math one's Tim great at. English, no.
Okay.
Everyone should try it. It's a great brain. How would you define that app? Because it's really good.
Brain exercises just to keep things sharp.
I feel like it's the only app I pay for.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I do it every day. Yeah. One of my many streaks that we've talked about ad nauseum.
Good that they have habits built into that. Very, very smart. And a lot makes you really think. I try to do it first thing in the morning.
Same.
I do a lot better when I do it 10 hours later, though. but just little things that the kids can be learning these days. That's what we're here for.
Oh yeah.
Alasha, so yeah,
We love
you can get into that. You're all about teaching. Tell us a little bit about you and.
I saw you got that little shimmy going. I got that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you start talking about the babies, that's my area right there. I love the babies.
Okay.
Why? Yeah. And one of the things that really turned me on to what's going on is that you can't start too early with these kids, and the thing that I love about kids is that they don't know fear. Yeah. So they just get after it, and you tell them to do something and they're not afraid of no. Yeah, they just so yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on. I think it's super inspiring.
Absolutely. Thank you, first of all, for having me here today. I always love to talk about my organization and what we're doing, and so proud of the babies. So I have an organization. It's called the Bennett Center, and it is a nonprofit organization right here in Hampton Roads, and we focus on bringing whole families out of poverty. And we do that through an entrepreneur program that we have with the children, where we take kids ages 5 to 17 and we actually help them build a business. So we have a 12-week program that we focus on where we take them from concept to an actual legal business in those 12 weeks. So remember, I'm saying legal business. That means they have their LLC, they have their business banking, they have a product to sell, and they're off and they're running. Inside of the class, we teach them marketing and social media, web pages. They're getting their logo, just everything that is encompassed in building a startup business so that you can be successful and be in the running. We have been doing this since 2016, and we have seen some really, really neat ideas, and we've seen some kids flourish through this program. Whether it's a child that comes into the program and they've never stood in front of anyone and spoken before, now they have all of the confidence to get up and do a pitch, all the confidence to stand at their vendor table and greet customers, and they just become these great sellers, all from going through this program and understanding the concepts of customer service. They have built these businesses, and they're brilliant kids.
Sales is something that most people don't want to agree with probably what I'm about to say, but everyone is a salesperson. Mm-hmm. Everyone is always selling. Mm-hmm. I don't care if anyone wants to push against that. I don't believe it. I believe I am 100% correct in that statement, but it's interesting that most people don't want to sell, right? And Tim or Alasha, one of you said this, and it made me think something along the lines of, is fear taught? Right, we are fearful at some of these things. The kids I think Tim said kids don't have fears, but so is it taught? When does this fear come in? Because all the things that you're talking about, Tim and I for the last decade plus have seen plenty of grown adults that are like, well, I just don't really want to get up there and do anything to talk about my baby, which is their business in this case, and it's. I don't want to say it's comical, but it is humorous that people will want so much for their business to succeed, but they're absolutely terrified to even meet someone, join a pitch competition, post something on the internet, have a booth, all the things, start an actual, it's interesting that, so I guess what I'm getting at with this long run-on sentence is fear taught? Why is this taught in this stuff? What are y'all thoughts on that?
Alasha, go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you jump in first. I have my thoughts, but
sure.
You're today's guest.
I honestly, I agree with you that fear is taught. It's a funny story, not so funny, but funny. You'll be able to relate. All business people will be able to relate to this. So, of course, our program is not a babysitting program. Our parents have to be involved because these are legal businesses, and so they have to sign for them. So our parents are very involved in the program, and I do have, a parent and child situation where this is a great example of what you're talking about. We set the price of something, and the mom was afraid that no one would buy it. And she's looking around the market and she's saying, they're selling theirs for this and they're selling theirs for that. So I think that we should lower the price. And so I had to explain to her a few things. First of all, you have to look at the uniqueness of your product. Is your product exactly the same? Or is there something about your product that warrants someone paying more for it, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is we have to use cuteness to our advantage. These kids are cute kids, and people are going to buy it because they're cute kids out here having a business, and they're going to be impressed by that. But her fear, mom's fear, she was pushing on to the child to say, the child was fine with it. The child's like, okay, this is the price we got. That's what it is. I'm going to go out and sell it. And they were, they didn't know anything else. But because the mom was a little fearful of whether or not she was going to get a sale, it caused just a little bit of friction here, there of, no, I really want to sell it for this, but you won't let me. And so we had to kind of, we had that situation that we had to kind of fix there.
Yeah. So I guess my take, Zach, would be that you're kind of taught fear based on past experiences or the experiences that you learn from others. And it's just interesting, even if you take it away from the business side, if you look at kids in sports teams, when they're young, they just get out there and play. And every time they play, they think they're going to win. But then all of a sudden they get to a certain age. And like some of the teams that my kids were on, they had already lost before they even stepped on the field or onto the court, because they've already told themselves, oh, this team is better than us. We're not going to be able to, win. They're taller, they're faster, they're stronger. And it's, like, I think one of the big lessons that I taught my kids, or I hope that I taught my kids, was any given Sunday. Like any football team can beat another football team on any given Sunday. Yeah, and
minus the Buffalo Bills.
Well, we can't win on the big Sundays, or you can't beat. The other thing is that you can't beat someone that doesn't quit. And I love the energy that people bring to the table when they continue to hustle. They get up, they dust themselves off, and then they just get back. And that endurance the grit and endurance plays a really, really big piece for those people that aren't afraid to fail.
It's obnoxious that a parent would, or a coach or something like that would say, hey, this team is a lot better than you, so you're bound to lose. Like, that is absolutely the worst.
Yeah.
But go out there and have fun.
Go get your damn participation trophy. Yeah, I mean, like, that's what they're setting themselves up for. That's stupid. Yeah. Right? Like, hey, like, we already think you suck. That's literally what they're saying. Like, that's a terrible way to approach something.
Alasha, I'm curious, since we're on this taught thing, so you're dealing with green entrepreneurs. So what's your take? Is entrepreneurship something that can be taught, or is that something that you think the kids are born with, or they just have that natural instinct?
I definitely think that entrepreneurship can be taught. I think that people have natural things that they're good at. They're just naturally good at that, naturally selling. Like, somebody that can sell you a paper bag, right? Like they just have that natural flow. They're charismatic, they catch on really quick to cues of people. And so some people just have those gifts. And that's the wonderful thing about learning entrepreneurship and going through this process at a young age, is that you get to see what you're most talented at. You could be talented at marketing. Social media might be your thing, product development, learning how to develop a product and what's wrong with it, and picking out the things that people would see good about it or not so good about it. So it's so many aspects to building a business and becoming an entrepreneur and understanding how business works. It's not just social media. It's not just marketing. It's not just the fun things we like to do, right? There's so many things that is incorporated in that. And they're getting on the ground floor of understanding all of those pieces of it. Yeah.
How when someone starts the program, take us through that 12-week evolution. Can you see the gain in confidence take place? Do the kids then become better students as a result? Yeah, I would love to hear your insight on that.
Absolutely. So we have, like I said, we have students that come in that are shy every week. So we do a 3-hour session once a week for those 12 weeks. And we go through, the first hour is someone comes in, we have a speaker that comes in and talks about their business. They're a business person and they're talking about a different aspect of business. The second hour is the lesson that we're learning for the day. And the third hour is a think tank. So all the kids get together and whatever what's going on in their business that they need help with. Some of them, oh, I got my product in, my prototype. You guys critique it for me. These are the business cards that I want to put out. Critique those for me. And so with that, the kids are able to really come out of their shell. So there are kids that learning how to network. I think entrepreneurs don't do that very well. And so learning how to network with your peers and not compete, even if you have the same product, understanding that why your product is different so that you can be able to work with that person, right? Whether your business is the same or different, and learning ways to collaborate. So that's the thing. But a lot of our kids come in and they're very shy. And so every week we have them get up and say their business and what they do. They're learning their pitch along the way so that when they get to those 12 weeks, they have their pitch, in the bag and they can say it, just off the top of their head. So yeah, they learn a great deal of skills just in that 12-week program.
I would concur that most adults suck at networking.
Yeah.
You should write a book about that, Zach.
I should write a book on it.
In the right way to network, in a way that's going to be beneficial to you.
Time warp. Bam! I did write the book on it. Wow.
Oh, very nice. What is it called again? I didn't get to see it.
It is called What Are You Watching on Netflix? The Prescription for Smart Networking to Build Lasting Connections.
Nice. Okay, I'll have to read that. Listen, you might need to come and talk to my students and actually give them some pointers on networking and how they can, collaborate or find opportunities to collaborate.
Set myself up here, Tim. I set myself up.
You did. You did. You absolutely did.
What's the genesis of the Bennett Center? How did it start?
Well, it's actually, the Bennett Center is actually a school. My children are homeschooled. Now my children are 25, 17, and 10. Whew, had to remember. And they are all entrepreneurs. They all have their own businesses and they're all authors. So my 25-year-old focuses on mental health. She has a podcast. She's a second-time author. She does poetry. My middle child, she's 17. Her organization is all about girls living boldly and being their true selves. She focuses on girls 11 through 17. She's also an author. And then my son, who is 10, he has Learn with Lee, and he does educational videos for the youth, teaching them different things around the neighborhood. How to, the tree guy and the Dominion Power guy and all the people and how they help us in society. So it came about that way, and that they're homeschooled and I'm teaching them, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm teaching them entrepreneurship, and I wanted them to have that as well. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, we don't teach this in school. There's so many skills that we can learn from entrepreneurship. Let me go ahead and make that happen. So that's how that came about.
Okay, so how many kids did you say you had?
I have 3.
You have 3. Are you married?
I'm divorced.
Okay. So I was going to ask if he was also an entrepreneur, but the fact that the 4 of you guys are that's pretty crazy that 4 of the 5, maybe even 5 of the 5 are like, that's a pretty wild ride right there.
Yeah, they are. And my mom, I got into it. Now she's a children's book author, and she.
Oh my goodness!
So it's like it just gets better and better. Gets better and better.
I love it.
I'm a 5-time author, so it just gets better and better.
There we go.
Gets better and better. Yeah.
Gosh.
I don't think any business owner or any person can come in contact with me and be my friend or be close to me and not have a project in the fire. Like it just happens. It's contagious.
Yeah, I
Well,
used to think that all of my friends were business owners, and I feel like the overwhelming majority are.
Mhm.
I don't know why. Maybe we're just wired differently.
Well, I think too, and I tell my kids this as well. Um, Surround yourself with people who are like-minded, because if you ever notice, like being an entrepreneur is difficult and challenging within itself, because most people don't think in the way that we think as far as product development, and we're always looking at things in a different way. And so sometimes we feel discouraged because we can't get some people to understand, what we're talking about or why we think in this way. And so having people in your corner, in your circle, that understand is great. Being able to bounce some ideas off of someone and their immediate reaction is, oh, that's stupid, or why are you doing that? Instead of having friends that say, oh, wow, that's a great idea. I'll help you flesh that out. Being able to go to conferences and workshops and stuff like that, you're around like-minded people.
well, and I also firmly support the idea of you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Yes.
And it is just so true in the sense that like my wife and I, we made some decisions in terms of like, hey, we got to be a little bit more picky and choosy in terms of who we're spending our time with, because it's just like we're either you're raising us up or you're bringing us down, and we generally want to be around people that are going to raise us up. I'm okay with being the least intelligent of the 5 people that I'm hanging around with, because that hopefully just means that I'm elevating my game and I'm getting a little bit smarter along the way. But
Well, whenever you're with me, Tim, you're not the least, so don't worry.
I love the honesty. I love you.
Yeah, I mean, look, just ask any one of my teachers in school, K through 12 plus college, and anyone else that I know. I'm definitely the dumbest in the room, and that's okay.
Well, as long as you
Thanks
keep
for sticking up for me, Tim. There. Thanks for sticking up for me.
No,
there,
I was
Tim.
going to say, but the thing is, though, is that we continue to learn, and as long as you're open to learning those ideas, we're gaining on everyone else that doesn't make your cut to hang out with you, Zach. You're just so selective.
You're in a great position, because if you're not the smartest in the room, you're able to, be a forever learner. That's what I always tell people, right? Be a forever learner. We're always growing. So
100%.
You're not learning, you're dying.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's it.
And you do this in Portsmouth, correct?
So I actually have partnered with, because even though our organization is in Portsmouth, we support the 757. And so we've gone to Hive. The Hive has supported us in bringing our classes there. Bloom has supported us in Portsmouth. So the Hive is in Virginia Beach. It's a business center that is open to all businesses. If you don't know about the Hive, you should know about the Hive, because it's free business resources for small businesses. And Bloom is in Portsmouth, and they also are a resource center. They're a co-working space, but they also have things there for small business owners. And so we've partnered with them. They've let us come and do our classes there. So that's been a wonderful thing. Yeah.
So when you are at an organization like a Hive or a Bloom, and you say partner, are they just giving you the space? Are they paying you in that case? Like where's the money? Where's the transactions happened? Where do the transactions happen for you guys?
So Hive is ran by Economic Development of Virginia Beach. So they did pay for our graduation. We had a whole graduation ceremony that they paid for. They are allowing us to use the space there. So 3 hours a week, 12 weeks, and it's a rolling program. So they've allowed us to keep coming and roll with our program. So we're very grateful for that.
Can you share with us some stories about you? So you've worked with many of these youth entrepreneurs. What are some of the stories or some of the businesses that stand out to you?
Oh, okay. You'll have to stop me. So just chime in. You'll have to stop me. The ones that I've really been impressed with, there's a young lady. She has 2 community gardens in Suffolk. And she came to us and she loves gardening, and she grows peppers and, tomatoes and all the things. And so she was growing these habaneros. And so we came up with a habanero spice that she sold. So we helped her package it, and she harvested it, and then she came to our Kid Expo and she sold it. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. So that's one of them. Just very proud. She came in gung ho and ready to go, and she learned a lot during the program. Yeah, it's just so many. Maddie. Oh gosh, we love Maddie, our pink princess, Maddie. Another one just coming in with no fear. She had already no business experience, no nothing. All she knows is she wanted to sell her earrings and her jewelry. And when she came in with her product, it was on hooks, it was packaged, she had stickers, she had like her product was ready to go. And so we're very impressed with that. She just needed to know the know-how of doing business. We have a young man, he makes Play-Doh in his kitchen. So, and although you shouldn't eat it, it is edible. And so he puts aromatherapy oils into his dough. And they're good for, people with physical therapy, any, doctor's office, therapy office, stuff like that, children with ADHD, those types of things. And it's really calming. His Play-Doh is really calming. So we have so many, like I said, I can go on and on about the products that they actually create that are just not the normal products. Everybody says, oh, lemonade and cupcakes and, those things, but we really have kids that come up with some great ideas.
That's true.
Yeah, I used to do
the author of the book about turtles. Zach is a big turtle fan.
Oh, Zach, you have to meet Eli. As a matter of fact, so this is what I say to anybody who is in business, not just youth, but anybody who's in business. If you have a business, you need a book. Your book is your big business card. And the reason why you want to have a book is so many reasons you want to have a book, but a couple of them is that your book is going to get you into places that you wouldn't normally get into, right? Just talking about your business. I'm talking about the news and articles and, magazines and, getting you speaking engagements, because a book puts you as the authority on whatever it is that your business is. And nobody tells this story the same. Everybody has their own experiences. We can go through the same thing and we can tell it a totally different way. And so we want to make sure that we are putting ourselves out there in the spotlight as I'm an expert on my thing, right? Not necessarily on all the things in this industry, but my thing I'm an expert on. And I want you to hear my story about that. So Eli he's all about the turtles. He's all about conservation. And he's only 12 years old. Yesterday, we went to the school board and he spoke to the school board. The day before that, we went and spoke to city council. He went and spoke with them, but he's had, myriad of interviews. He's just been, he's very well spoken to be 12. And he knows his stuff. Everything he knows is turtles. And he's a great interviewer, by the way, if you want to have him on your show. Be very impressed with him. But being able to get yourself in the door of these places. Plus, he's a cute kid. So who doesn't want to interview him about a book that he's done? So this is his book.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Turtle Tales.
Turtle Tales.
If it's got a tail, it must be a snapper.
We don't talk about snappers in the book, but yeah. But absolutely. And he's not our only author. Actually, we have some other kids that are authors in our program as well. So
it's so much easier now to get a book out there. I think historically, decades ago, not a very easy feat, but technology has made it incredibly simple to get it out there for a couple of bucks. I'm saying that, and people are like, "Oh, that's more than a couple of bucks." You know, it's not going to be free. There's definitely going to be some financial commitment, but it's not like it used to be. And if you want to just get a book out on Amazon, it's extremely easy to go through that process. And so kudos to, what was his name? Elijah? Is that what you said? Eli. What was it? Eli.
Yep.
Eli.
So I will say,
Turtle Man himself. Yeah.
let me just correct you that it costs $0. You can go through the whole process and it will cost you $0 to be a published author today.
I agree with you, but I do think there are some resources that you probably are going to have to pay for in there. You're probably going to pay for a cover in some regard. You're probably going to have an editor in some regard in that aspect in there. Now, whether or not you can get that done by someone who already knows how to do it at a cheap to reduce rate, yes, I a lot cheaper than it used to be.
The beauty of AI. We're in that era now where it's the beauty of AI, and AI is doing a lot for us that, you know, it's taking us into a whole new space, and it's allowing even the children, you know, they're good with the technology, you know, us over 40 is like technology, but they're really good with technology, and they are, they're whizzing through this AI thing. They're picking it up so fast.
Yeah, that's wild to think. Yeah, I mean, because you're already dealing with kids that were born with it, and now to be the next wave being able to leveraging AI from a very, very young age.
Even creating digital products, $0. You know what I mean? To create digital products and get them out there. And it's so many ways to make money and be profitable in this day and age. So many simple ways.
Zach, I was cutting you off. Did you have something that you were following up with?
I just remember when I did kid stuff, like kids courses, or I would like judge something 10 years ago. It was all candy. It was like I got a candy basket or something like this. And like, I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. So the fact that kids are doing significantly different things 10 years later, like that's a big difference.
Now, have you seen like lip gloss? You see a lot of lip gloss, right? They start off there. A lot of
maybe earrings, stuff like that.
Yeah, lip gloss, earrings, like bakery or lemonade, or you see a lot of those things. But yeah, they are starting to come out. We try to get them to think outside the box a little bit instead of having the norm.
Unless their lemonade's really good, you know, then don't be afraid to sell it.
And some of their lemonade is really good. And we're talking about organic lemonade. We're talking about, yeah. Why
are you trying to tell them not to sell lemonade when they're selling good organic lemonade?
Oh, no, we don't tell them not to sell it. We just say, what's different about your lemonade?
Well, right? See, the way that I squeeze it.
Yes.
Is just, yeah.
And it sits for, you know, sits for 120 days in the,
aged lemonade.
Right.
I don't know if that's still lemonade at that point. Just saying. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like limoncello or something, right?
But yeah, wow. But in the program, allowing them to see past just the lemonade. What makes your lemonade special? Is it the bottle that you're putting it in? Is it, you know, how you're making it? Is it, you know, what are you putting in extra for them? You know, packaging is a thing. So are you able to ship it? Are you able? So all of those, you know, kind of things matter.
And I would assume you get into the whole cost of goods sold and working through all of the economics behind everything. How are the kids quick to catch on with all of that? Or
so one of the things that we do, so this is the funny thing. Some of the parents that come into our program have never had a business before, have never thought of business. Some of our parents that come into the program, they are in business right now. So everybody's in session, everyone's in class. But we do have something that we teach them. We teach them how to price their product. And we have a product cost sheet that we go through. We teach them how to get all of their materials, raw goods, and translate that into how much their product should be. And so there's a whole thing, there's a spreadsheet, whole thing, whole thing about math. But when they go through that portion alone, the parents are like, wow, no one ever taught me this. I don't even know this about my own business. And I've been in business for 15 years, or whatever the case may be, right? On understanding how to price your products. Something as complex, but as simple as that can fold your business in a matter of months. Because if you are not making a profit, right, your business can't grow. You're pouring money into it. And then it just becomes a hobby, right? It's not a business, it's a hobby.
I mean, now that you mentioned it, I didn't learn about cost of goods sold until I went to business school. So I didn't really learn about it in K through 12, my undergrad. It wasn't until going through my MBA that we really learned some of those things, fixed cost and variable cost and all that kind of good stuff. That's great.
And we don't go into detail like that with them. We make it the simple version for them. We have the formulas and all the good things, so it's not as hard for them. But it's still taxing for them because they have to price, just like, for instance, the young lady with the earrings. And we're talking about, okay, you have your earrings, you have, the cardboard that you're putting them on, and you have the packaging, and you have the stickers, and you have the, all the things that go into it. And they don't really think about that. Are you putting a card in every time that you give this to someone, or you mail it to them? All of your materials, it's so much. And by the time they want to pull their hair out, by the time they get done with the spreadsheet, but then they understand why their product has to cost what it does. And then they can play with those numbers, right? And they can say, okay, well, my cost, a lot of people don't know that the cost of their product should include any type of sale that they're going to have, right? And a lot of time people miss that. And so they're losing money on that product instead of just earning less on that profit. They're actually losing money. So.
Well, the crazy thing is, and Zach, you'll certainly agree with this, is that is probably coming up with the cost of a good or service is probably one of the most, other than selling, is the most difficult thing for adult entrepreneurs to try to figure out. And it's stunning to me how much people want to undervalue themselves.
Sure.
But
what's interesting is, like, there are times where people will pay a crazy premium. And I'm just thinking about, like, at a sporting event where you're paying, $13 for a glizzy, $16 for a small beer. Like, it's obnoxious. You would never go to the grocery store and pay that for one can of dilly dilly. But yet when you're, at Harbor Park watching the Tides, a very minor league baseball team, they're charging $16 for a small drink. Like,
yeah,
people will do it. And so I think it's showing them scenarios where it's like, hey, like, I know you think this, but there's actually a lot of data that says this is the right price, and people are willing to, in certain situations, pay a more premium for it. Now, do I enjoy, that aspect at a sporting event or a concert? No, I think it's outrageous. But, when in Rome.
Only two ways to make more money: sell more of it or sell it at a higher price.
Yeah.
Or both.
Supply and demand. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You had briefly, it flew right by, but you had mentioned Kid Expo.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Kid Expo.
Absolutely. So the Kid Expo, this is our 4th year with the Kid Expo. Yay. 4 years of getting kid entrepreneurs together in one room. We usually do a convention center or conference center, and they're able to sell their goods and services. This Kid Expo is amazing. We have a kid DJ, we have a kid photographer and kid performers, and kid interviewers and hosts, and everybody's out there, and the kids are out there and they're having a great time, and face painting and all the things. We give away business grants. So 5 of the judges will come around, and they're graded on pitch and pitch concept, and we even have a people's choice. So the attendees get to go around and say who they would want to have win one of our $500 grants. And so we do this every year, and we have raffles and giveaways, and it allows the students. A lot of the students that come are some of the students from our program. They're also outside students, but some of these students have never done a vendor event before. And of course, they've never done it at this magnitude. And so we also give away backpacks and supplies. We give away a lot of Kid Expo merch as well. I wanted to make sure I say that, because it's a free event and we want everyone to come out and enjoy it. But to give them this experience for them, it's like nothing that they've experienced before. And so we're happy to do that for them. And it's a graduation of sorts. If you've been in the program and you're out there, putting all of your things together in your business, and then to come and actually be able to sell your goods and services. And then on top of that, win $500 for all the work that you've done. And with our grants, you can win multiple. So one year, a young lady won $1,500.
Oh, broke the bank.
She was able to go on that. So this year we've actually expanded the Kid Expo. So now we're going to Richmond. So August 3rd in Hampton at the Hampton Convention Center, and August 17th in Richmond at the Richmond Convention Center. So we're growing, and it's great. We love it.
Very cool. Just your general thoughts on the educational system these days?
Well, my kids are homeschooled. So, and they always have been. And my oldest is 25. So, but I'm a product of public schools. And I really think that there are some schools that are doing some great things as far as they are introducing all of these different programs, cosmetology, and some vocational skills, and even entrepreneurship. I think we need to do more. So it's a funny thing that my high school wasn't like a lot of the high schools. My high school was like a college campus. I went to high school in California, and it was like a college campus. We took up like 4 blocks, and there was a building for everything. There was the science building, but we had programs. There was a restaurant on site. And so the culinary students would make lunch for the teachers every day. We had a daycare on site. So parents from the neighborhood would be able to come, and the students would be taking care of their kids, because that's the career that they wanted to go into, childhood education. And so I realized that not every area is like that, especially when you're going to urban areas, that these schools are, but they're coming around. A lot of the Hampton schools, Portsmouth schools are coming around to these different programs. I think it's very important. It's a lot of things we don't teach. Financial, fiscal responsibility, taxes, those things that we cannot get away from. We need to teach those things in school.
Yeah, the schools in Northern Virginia and California, I mean, they are just, enormous. Unlike the stuff that we see here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why do you think they don't teach some of those things?
It always baffles me, because their biggest thing is there's no money for the schools. And I don't really understand that.
But a lot of city budgets are like 40% towards the school. So where the hell's all the money going?
I really don't understand it. And I will say this, I went to a city council meeting, the other day. It was for the city of Norfolk, and they were talking about, they were giving millions of dollars to certain things and initiatives. And I'm like, why are any of the schools in Norfolk not performing well? And you're giving millions of dollars to different things. And so it's a little baffling to me that we're not putting our children first. It's baffling to me that we don't pay our teachers more. they should be paid more. It's some things do baffle me. I think that as parents, we need to get involved more. And I know that that's hard because we're out working. And so we're leaving it up to the school to teach our children. But I think that is just a community effort. And I think that we need to put more money into schools and be more invested in things that are going to matter for our children. Yeah, it's just some things that we are doing is just not beneficial for the society that we live in, right? Economics is very big. And why are we not teaching that on a regular basis?
Yeah, educators are unsung heroes. I mean, wow, they have such an important role, and they have such an impact on kids. I have so much admiration and respect for teachers. I don't have that skill. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy times out there right now. Where like the educators and teachers are more, like they're afraid of the parents more so than of the students themselves. And it's crazy. It's crazy to me that that I don't know. I guess I just always look at things of who is your customer, and in this case, like the children are your customer. Yeah, I mean, though we're betting on our future, and that should be the North Star that we're focused on. And I don't know how things get convoluted.
That's a great way to look at it. They look at it that way too, because if there's no butts in the seats, they don't get the funding they're claiming that they need. So they're looking at it that way too. But I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they're taking it to the depth that they really truly need to take it out. But that is a great way to look at it if we're looking at it in that aspect. And who's your customer and how are we serving them? And are we serving them to the best, of our ability that they need? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and it's like, gosh, it's like $20 million to build a new school now. I mean, it's astronomical just in terms of like, when you throw in the infrastructure piece in terms of like how old some of these schools are and the cost to rehab these schools or put the right technology in. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. I think Norfolk, didn't they just pass something like 6.8 million just to like upgrade one of their schools or something?
Yeah. And then they're talking about, and they're building a new structure. They're not tearing down the old structure. Yeah. So it's like, that's an ongoing thing.
Or just
going on.
Even the, I don't know. I almost said nonsense. It's not for me to say, but just the argument about what subjects should be taught or shouldn't be taught in schools. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a ton of respect for the educators though, because it's not an easy job. And I think the most frustrating part is when you have parents that go in, but don't spend the time with the students, with their kids, and they're not involved as much as they should be to begin with. But then, tough stuff. Zach, you opened up a can.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's a lot of politics. It's a lot of. I was going to be a school teacher, and I did all the student teacher and all of that. And when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this is not for me. This is not for me because there's too much. It's just too much politics and the SOLs and not being able to, like I said, teach the kids things that they're really truly going to need in life.
Right.
Versus trying to stay accredited and teach things that they really don't.
Yeah.
Math and English, we definitely need those things. But
yeah, it's a great point though. When you're teaching your kids just what they need just to pass the SOL as opposed to what you need to like survive in the real world. I mean, it's just there's a little disconnect there.
And that's what they're doing. They're teaching to the SOLs and to pass this test. And then the last 2 months of the school year, they're able to teach other things. That's not going to work.
Yeah. I will give a shout out to DECA. Both of my kids were part of the DECA program, and that was a really, really great program. I'm super thankful that they participated in that. That was great. That was good stuff.
Let's see how well he really likes them. DECA stands for what, Tim?
I don't know. Well,
Mm,
but that's one of
see?
those acronyms, like
Well,
what does NASA stand for? I mean, it's just, or the FBI. I mean, it's just,
national, federal. That's one.
That's why you got this.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation, NASA, the National Aerobatics, Aeronautical Solar Association.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
I know.
ZAC is an acronym. Do you know what it's for?
I'm listening.
I am too.
I'm not telling. I'm not telling. keeping this right here.
Yeah. I don't know if
parents are afraid of teacher, or teachers are afraid of parents.
Like, well, at least in my school district, it is. Yeah, it's.
Give me a scenario.
I don't know if I want to do it. Just
like you're not okay. So the teacher is like, is it the parent being like, yo, you're not teaching my kid isn't smart enough type of thing?
Or why did my the kids never do anything wrong, or why did my son get or daughter get a C, or stuff like that.
When I coached the swim team, parents would come up to me and be like, why isn't my kid swimming on the A meet? And I'd be like, because your kid isn't fast enough. Well, you're the coach. Why aren't they teaching them? I don't know, because they're barely coming to practice. They're not listening. They'd rather be cold outside of the pool. They have no grit, no resilience. They're not interested. Like, it sounds like it's a parent problem, not a me problem. I'm not your babysitter, but I can teach this kid how to swim if he actually gets in the damn water, but he doesn't want to get in the water. So it's on you.
Yeah.
They didn't like that response.
They didn't like that response.
No. It will be interesting, Alasha. I'm curious what your take is with the governor's new, what he signed into law with no cell phones in schools. Will that be enforced? Is that going to be a thing, or is that going to make any change at all?
We'll find a way to do it. That's number one. There's a will, there's a way.
Right.
So it's just going to happen, and parents are going to buck against it, and they're going to say, well, my kids are going to have a cell phone because I want to be able to get to them and those types of things. So that will happen. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with saying when we went to school, we didn't have cell phones. We're just fine. You know what I mean? Like,
we met at the playground at 3:30 after school.
And word travels fast. If there was a fight after school, everyone knew.
That's right.
I mean, to me, it sounds like, why would you need it? Like, we don't need cell phones in schools. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, when they're in classroom, they should not have a cell phone. I don't understand why that's such a big deal for people.
But I also want to know, because I have not read that in the fullness of what he's passed. Why are we doing this now? What's the point of it? What are we doing? Are we just doing something to say that we've done something so you can get reelected, or what is the point?
Well, that's politics 101.
Yeah.
Just do something.
What are we trying to accomplish? What is this going to do? What are the stats that we have about if we take these out of the schools, what it's going to do? Because in most instances that I've seen, even the teachers that I know, your cell phones have to be put away. So you don't have cell phones during class anyway. I just taught Portsmouth. I just taught the entrepreneurship program. I did a 4-hour in Portsmouth the other day. They have a camp. And the whole time, the kids didn't have their phones out, even though they had them, because they were told to put them away. And then when it was time for them to bring their phones out, no, let's look this up. Let's look that up. They did it, put their phones away, and that was that.
Well, and the other interesting point is to see how it all plays out is that you bring your own technology. That helps offset budget shortfalls so that the schools don't have to buy laptops or tablets for all the students. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
They're not banning the laptops and stuff or tablets. They're just saying cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Back in my day, I walked 2 miles.
I was just
freezing cold in the rain.
Yes.
To get educated.
I was just happy, like whenever we were able to pull out graph paper, like that was a treat for me when I was in school.
I like xylophone day in the music center where I'm like bang, 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 bang.
Colored
So
pencils was a thing. Not crayons, colored pencils.
My library had stairs where we
Mm.
could go down to the pit. Let's bring back the pit. I don't even know if it's not there anymore.
What's the limit of students that you can take on at one time, Alasha? Like, if people are going to watch this and everyone's going to rush to you and for the answers,
because our fall program is coming up. So we try to take 10 students at a time just because it's a lot. We have to mentor them. We have to, we're building businesses, and to do 10 at a, more than that is a lot for us. However, we are creating, and it will launch in September, our virtual program. Because we're going to Richmond, now we are expanding to a new area. And so we want to make the program available to other kids. And so we are going virtual. And that will start our year-long program. So that gives us a little bit more time to develop those businesses and not have to be in that accelerated program. The accelerated program will still be available. However, we are also starting the year-long program that they can participate in.
And I guess people will just direct everyone to your website if they want to get involved, thebennettcenter.com.
Absolutely.
Anything we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
Oh, that's such a huge. Well, I can talk about anything, just about anything.
You have 10 seconds to continue thinking, or else we're done.
Okay. Well, we talked about the expo. We talked about the program. Yeah, I'm good. We're always in the market for donors and sponsors and people who love this program and idea of it so much that they want to. Oh, and mentors as well, mentors and speakers. So Zach, I'll send you an email because of course you want to come and talk to our children about networking and and all of the things. We're gonna love that. It's gonna be a great session. But we're always looking for mentors and business owners who want to come in and pour into the kids. You guys have great knowledge and you're doing it, right? So we need people who are out there doing it, feeling the pressure, and are really willing to pour into our kids that way. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how long have you lived in Hampton Roads?
I've been here since 99.
99.
25. That's 25 years, Tim. That's what my math says. Good at math, not good at English.
And you were quick with that. I like that. Very quick. Yeah, I've been here for a while. Yeah.
And what is your go-to either restaurant or food of the region?
Okay. So I'm going to have to say there are two restaurants.
Let's go.
Yard House. I can do a Yard House any time of day, right? And I can do a Legal Seafood any day of the week. So those are both in Town Center. Of course, Yard House has one in Portsmouth at the casino. So that's a thing. But yeah, those are my go-tos right there.
Does the region have a food or a beverage that when you come to Hampton Roads, you have to partake?
That is specific to this area.
Yeah, that's the stumper. Yeah, I mean, like crab cakes, wings, cheesesteaks, deep dish pizza. You know, like what is it for Hampton Roads that we need to be touting?
I don't know. I like the fact that we have a lot of breweries coming up, though. I actually like that, and I'm not even a beer drinker.
Yeah.
But I have gotten into, kind of like I'm a wine drinker. I'm not a beer drinker, but the flavored beers, the strawberries and the, all of the type of flavored beers.
Are those like the sours, or is that considered something different? It's interesting how it's all the innovation of all this.
Yeah. But they just add the flavor into it. So I'm not a beer drinker because I don't like the hops taste. And it's in everything. That's just how they make it, right? So them putting the flavor in it kind of brings down that hops for me. And so it's not so hoppy.
I a decade ago, 15 years ago, made the comment. People thought I was an idiot for this, but I was like, breweries are the new coffee shops. They're going to be the new place where people hang out, not the coffee shops. I think I was pretty spot on that comment and that analysis of where we're going to go. I feel like they are pretty big.
Because they're like on every corner now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my wife and I, we took a trip. We went to Asheville, North Carolina. That's supposed to be like the craft brewery capital of the U.S. I'll be honest. I think that our region, our breweries are way, way better. The only thing that they may have that we don't is that you can walk to several, whereas ours, the region is just much, much bigger. That's one city compared to a region. But I thought that our craft breweries were way better compared to the proclaimed craft brewery of the U.S.
Well, the craft brewery board of the 757 says, thank you, Tim. Thank you for your expertise and analysis of the battle between Asheville and the Norfolkian area of the Tidewater, Hampton Roads, the 757, Virginia Beach.
Does Portsmouth have any craft breweries?
Yeah, they have Momac. They have Momac at least. That's in not downtown. It's I can't think of what it's called. Western Branch.
Yeah. Well, Zach.
Well, they had another one downtown, and then they took it out, I think.
So now I need your next prediction, because if you did the breweries, I need your next prediction of what's the next thing here.
I don't have one. I'm done. I'm done making predictions.
Tapped out. All right.
My prediction is more of a hope, is that we remove those stupid scooters on the streets.
We don't like the scooters? Come on,
no.
Zach. Why don't we like the scooters?
Because I don't want to accidentally run someone over.
Okay. So
you agree?
I mean, it's 10 points. 10 points is 10. No, I'm just
I mean, I'm all about survival of the fittest.
10 points. I mean, it's just no, but I love the scooters.
I've never done one.
Now. I liked you until now. We're done.
I've never. That is one thing that I have never ridden.
Don't waste your time, Tim. They're stupid.
A scooter. I just like to burn. Yeah, I prefer to walk and just burn the calories. I can see maybe in a pinch, but
it's nice to explore the city, on the scooter. That's what I do. Like if I go downtown Norfolk, you park and you just ride the city. You can do the, go on a date. So it's a whole
to each their own.
Yeah. I'm a relationship and dating coach on my for-profit, right? And so it's the scooter thing. Go down to the water, park your car, and explore the city. Go eat something. Sit by the water. It's a whole date.
Get on a scooter.
I get that. I get that.
No, that's good, Tim. I don't.
Well, I get it from the sense like I really when I travel somewhere, that's one of the things that I really enjoy about running is that I'm able to cover a lot more distance while running through a city or a place than by walking. So I can see that transferring over to the scooter side.
Tim, I got to stick with the gimmick of scooter haters, so I cannot change or be persuaded. Just letting you know.
He won't be. He mustn't. He shan't.
Pleasure having you on the show today. Thanks for rolling in. It's been a delight. Looking forward to many more conversations.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is great.